Go home. These were the words that kept me allured and interested in a mystical world that pulled me in with its mystery and wonder. A manga that depicted the unknown as an enchanting melody that beckons the curious, then expresses the consequences of falling too close to the siren's song. It wasn't a callous phrase to be read as a cliffhanger at the end of every chapter. It felt like a mantra of sorts. A blunt reminder that what waits beyond even just the next step forward, despite how much you desperately want to see it, might very well be the thing that ends your intrigue forever. And Made in Abyss is no stranger to this captivating facade. Behind every beautiful, breathtaking visual that is sprawled upon a page lies similarly the grotesque and abhorrent. Things that make you regret taking a step forward to witness its wonder in the first place. Something that I would say is doubly true for the manga. But it was those lone summer nights with nothing to lose that I trailed along with our protagonist chapter after chapter to see what waits around the corner. To see where the next step in a long line of what could be ups and downs, but instead were canyons and mountaintops of the pain of joy and discovery. Go Home fills the page with that pesky thought. To, despite all odds of common sense and logic, find out if curiosity really was what killed the cat. I don't want to go home. I don't want these characters to stop exploring the abyss, despite how much it pains them, and me sometimes. So why not see what awaits behind the call of the void? And while some of you may have caught on to what's going on here, yes, I am that stupid. And yes, it's literally something that's at the end of every web manga on a certain website that contains illegal copies that may or may not have been shut down. Something that likely popped up if you ever looked for the first chapter of a manga that you're interested in. And spoilers, it's not the official release. Now, I know I can't possibly say anything that hasn't been said before, but I'd like to at least throw my hat in the ring at the recent closures of some websites that hosted pirated material on them, mostly since what we're left with is the paid services that are a piece of work in their own rights. We all kind of know that complacent companies and piracy are bad, but I also know that I don't care. Much like the majority of those out there who either pirate or grit and bear it on whatever streaming site that they're subscribed to, I think I can see both sides pretty clearly. A lot of people want to paint piracy as either a necessary evil, or something that you should avoid at all costs. We've probably heard the video game preservation arguments that say we should probably pirate Nintendo games because they haven't put any effort into preserving their content. Or the animation examination channels that say you should always try to support the official release because animators work hard and hardly get paid as it is. And it'll continue to stay that way if the majority just steals paid content. But to that I say, I should be allowed to be a hypocrite. I know that the meat industry is terrible with their treatment of animals. And perhaps on some subconscious level, I will try to lean away from meat. And I know for a fact that I'm not the only one who has this internal struggle. Hell, I'm eating chicken right now for dinner as I'm writing this script. Not while I'm recording though. I had chicken earlier today. Way off topic, but basically yes, I'm fence sitting. Get off my nuts. I had mentioned before that when searching for manga online, the first thing that would tend to pop up is a pirate site. The problem extends beyond manga itself as well. Anime tends to have a similar problem where for some reason Google doesn't know where the official release for a certain show is, despite it popping up on certain websites. This is mostly a compounding issue, as the more online streaming networks that pop up, the more of these will fail to be cataloged at best worst, and at worst worst have no advertising and thus not be able to be found in the first place. Something that likely won't be too much of an issue considering we've got curating sites like My Anime List that would display what's new and hot for the public. But sometimes I fear that the best show I've never seen before is out there on some streaming platform called Yellow Tape, and I'll never be able to watch it because no one knows about it and the site mentions it once in its newsfeed. That's an extreme example. I think in some ways the internet has gotten too big, and following it has expanded a bit too much. There's a subscription plan for managing your subscription plans on certain websites. Let that sink in. And the vast seas out there make it difficult to know what you're missing behind those paywalls. One thing that can show you what that is pirate sites. Ones that have ginormous catalogs for everything containing whatever genre you're interested in. Whatever's hot that season can be right there for you to grab and watch. There's like 4 big anime streaming websites, Netflix, Crunchyroll, HiDive, and Hulu and Disney+, each with their own catalogs from classics with the new hot thing, all the way down to the forgotten. But my god, finding anime on Disney Plus is like playing tag in a hurricane. And Crunchyroll is about as consistent as lumpy oatmeal when it comes to organizing its anime. I can't say the same for HiDive or Netflix though, mostly because I haven't used HiDive. And while Netflix will proudly show you the things that you haven't watched yet, like it's the new hotness, for some stupid reason I can't find what I'm already watching on it since they've hidden the continue watching section on my Roku, so I have to find the show every time I want to see it again? Like, who does that? Not like these companies can't fix it either. They've once had a better cataloging option. Netflix was the king of sectioning off its genres. Now it's all over the place in favor of pushing the most watched shows. And I'm not mad. Okay, well, maybe a little. And while we're on Netflix, they tend to, for some reason, slow drip anime as it comes out. I feel like there's so many times where an anime has come out and everyone's talking about it, and Netflix for some reason refuses to show it for months at a time. Crunchyroll and Disney Plus ends up doing it as well. Again, HiDive is off the leash because I don't really subscribe to them. And I'm a dub watcher. Yeah, f you. I'm a dub watcher, so I'm kind of used to waiting for a show. But somehow pirate sites seem to have the dub release before the official platform even has it. I don't even know why that would be a thing. It's dropping the ball so hard that it phases through the floor. And then there's no real way to compile things that you like. Sure, you can use them on certain websites like Mao, but trying to see all the things that you've watched is nigh impossible. It's not necessary, but after hearing the suggestion that someone made about trying to tie Mal to a streaming website as a feature, so you can have it tied to your profile to see what you have liked and seen, it really freaking stuck to me as a great idea. Imagine instead of telling someone all the shows that you've liked and disliked, you can just show them your Crunchyroll page and it has all the things on there that you do. Every dislike, every drop, every currently watching, just right there. It'd be sick as hell. Sure, you could use Mal, but that's a lot of remembering to update the separate page every time you watch a show. And it could be easily integrated into a website. Well, not certainly easily, but it'd be really cool. I'd like to at least mention the problem where there's multiple different options for seasonal shows, splitting the anime season into 4 different platforms. I don't really see that as a big deal, not because I have the money to pay for these things, which I don't, I'm a wage slave like you. But licensing is expensive, creating shows are expensive, upkeep on a website is expensive, and staffing out all these endeavors are expensive. So of course there's going to be a lot of nuance to it, and that's why cable was so expensive in the first place. If I can break it up into the fraction of a cable bill so I can watch a fraction of a show with a few extras as well, that's a pretty damn good deal. Most of these platforms have enough content to keep you entertained for decades and is less than the price of a single combo meal of a restaurant per month. I never really understood people that complain about streaming prices. If anything, I'm surprised they don't double it. Which leads me to you. Nah, you're good. I mean the other guy. Piracy isn't exactly a right. Like, yeah, the convenience is unparalleled, especially when everything you'd want to watch is just sitting in one convenient place. But it's also a thing that doesn't need to exist. The best argument I've seen for this is preservation, which is a pretty strong one admittedly. Some media would simply be impossible to consume if we leave the rights holders to their devices. Evangelion wasn't legally watchable, at least not here in the West, for quite a while, and the only way to watch it was to sail the 7 seas. Go further back in time and anime wasn't even a thing over here. The only way to watch a hit from Japan was to have some guy bring you a DVD with an anime burned onto it. We truly were lucky to be born in different times, weren't we? But other than everyone and their grandfathers saying that Ava was the greatest piece of media of all times, there was no real reason to go and watch it. Anime was already such a big boom by the 2010s, so there were plenty of good shows that a person could watch instead. But I gotta concede one thing that piracy gives us that can never be replaced, and that's the ability to just do anything. I mentioned before that I picked up Made in Abyss's manga after watching the show, and there's a pretty good chance that I would not have picked up Volume 2 if I just outright went and bought it. It's got quite a few themes that push me away despite the mystery that lures me in, but adding a money barrier might have been enough to push me away to not be a curious fan that speculates on what's at the bottom of the abyss. The same goes for Attack on Titan. After Season 1 aired, I immediately went to the manga and caught up because it drew me in nearly immediately, hanging on to every digital page that presented itself. I've been regaled with conversations of people that have been finding media that changed their lives simply because they decided to take a chance on a show that wasn't available to access anywhere else. I myself loved the Ace Attorney series, but had I not pirated the first copy of it for the iPhone, there's simply no way I could have given it a shot. $5 back then is like $500 now. Actually, you want to know why my name is Blink in the first place? It's because I decided to download a bunch of ROMs one day for school while I was bored and decided to play Zelda. Not because of any recommendation, but because of the sheer boredom and had nothing else to do that seemed fun at the time. A few hours into Link's Awakening, I decided to join a group about Zelda because I was enjoying the game that much. A few weeks later, suddenly I was masquerading as a Zelda fan, and was given the moniker of Blue Link in the group. And suddenly I'm Blink. So, to keep up with my namesake, I tried more Zelda games. Well, I loved a few of them. I'm actually not as big of a fan of Zelda as I might seem. So, realistically, while the prices of things are beginning to rise worldwide thanks to the pandemic, everything is more accessible than ever. Before, the only way to read a light novel of an anime, or even to find the manga of it, was to pirate it. And this wasn't even that long ago, 5 to 10 years ago. There simply wasn't enough demand nor a market for it, at least here in America. But now there's an entire section of manga in the local Barnes & Nobles. And there's a bit of a section of a light novel there too, I guess. Whatever, at least Kindle has it. Anime isn't $500 for a Blu-ray anymore. They've come down to quite reasonable prices. And if you're looking for a show to watch, it's likely going to be on one of the big 4 streaming websites. I mean, if you can find it. Where the fuck is One Piece? To the same, I extend to video games, novels, TV shows, board games, card games, hardware, etc. because I'm running out of things to mention. But thanks to the digital age, media is more connected and accessible than ever. And while the age of sharing media is slowly dying out, on its last embers, soon, hopefully, we won't have to worry about needing to pirate anything. For everything we'll ever need is right at the edge of our fingertips. But for now, even though I've got a Crunchyroll, Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, and Prime Video subscription, I'm just gonna pirate it, because it's easier. You suck, Disney Plus. Rest in peace, Annie Wave.